Hey crypto traders, it's time to check in on the sector. Appreciate all the likes and shares and subscribes from all you loyal followers over the years. So the S&P 500 broader market, we can see we're attempting a little daily bounce here. It's certainly not impressive at this point. We can zoom in and watch the 12-hour trend change attempt that's attempting to take place. And if it were to confirm, then that daily bounce would get more follow through. Just like many altcoins, just like Bitcoin itself, we're looking for the S&P 500 to set a weekly high or low. As we are closing out the week, we still have another 2 hours to go here, but not a bad consolidation week. We certainly know the weekly high or low. We don't have enough information to say that it's being set right now, but we can say that if this were our weekly high or low, which needs a lot of proving, but if it were, it would be a bull flag. So essentially for me, if the bulls can continue to hold the back test of EMA support on the weekly time frame, that's going to keep this consolidation healthy, and that's the level that I'm going to be watching into next week as well. And if we look at Bitcoin, we just had a bear break. So the title of this video was Elon saves support, which he did temporarily. We bounced off a double bottom here, and Elon Musk came out with news, or Tesla came out with news, that they're going to have a solar plant in Texas that is going to mine Bitcoin, and that led to a temporary spike here, but right up to resistance, and we rejected. And that's a pretty easy top fish for bears. What makes that easy? We're extended heading into a resistance test. The 5-minute RSI is up at 70, and if you look at the 5-minute RSI, anytime it's hit 70 and above in this pullback since we lost the daily uptrend, 5-minute oversold conditions has been a time to be looking bearish. And that's where we've been topping out. Topped out at 43.9, 5-minute RSI above 70. Topped out at 4,400 above 70. Topped out at 4,400 again above 70. And then a little lower high right back above 70. So bottom line is we can be using, we like the oversold back burners. We like the RSI to give us guides for bounces, but bears use them as well. And as soon as you confirm a daily downtrend, short-term RSI levels being overextended is an area where bears look to be shorting. And as far as the Trader Pro platform is concerned, we can be utilizing that in the opposing view for bears. We'll get to that in just a moment. We're going to go over a handful of examples there. So the Bitcoin dominance chart, well, let's go Bitcoin a little bit more in depth. So Bitcoin, bigger picture, daily downtrend. We know we're scouting a weekly high or low with no sign of it at this point. We're watching our weekly retracement size, and right now it's about 40% pullback. The bottom line is the bears have complete control. The only hope for the bulls in the short term is that the 12-hour bear flag that just confirmed lacks follow through. And if we're going to say that it lacks follow through, we need to see a confirmed hourly trend change back to the bulls from here. Any hourly bounce, anything under 44,000 is just a lower high. We need a higher low and higher high to say that a 12-hour bear flag lacks follow through. I don't see any trade setup that I'm going to be taking in the near term future in the cryptocurrency space. That may change, but as far as Bitcoin is concerned, I know that number one, if I'm going to be playing oversold, if I'm going to be playing weakness, looking for a bounce, I need RSI levels to be crushed. And right now, the 4-hour RSI is not oversold. We've already hit oversold multiple times. The hourly RSI, not oversold. Daily RSI is not close to oversold. 12-hour, if 12-hour RSI gets oversold, and then the 4-hour and the hourly, if all those time frames line up oversold, I may be interested in a bounce. But in the absence of that, I have no interest in a bounce. Well, what if we set a weekly high or low and I miss an entry? I, in my opinion, will have plenty of time. We have to see a daily bounce that's big enough to shape up a trend change. So I will be looking for two things: extreme oversold conditions for my next trade. And if we don't get that, patiently waiting for bulls to prove enough to me to have a level of support to play off of. So if we were to just turn around right now and bounce back up 45,000 plus, I would say, okay, that's an impressive daily bounce. I may be looking to enter next daily consolidation, and I now have a stop level to go off of in an attempt to establish a position for a weekly high or low. But with where we stand in this moment, I have no pressure to trade in the short term. And I'm going to remain patient until something changes and I get more clarity as far as a setup. The dominance chart, again, we know we're watching the weekly tightening range. We know we're scouting a weekly high or low compared to 39.15, and there is no sign of that yet. Daily time frame is trying to set up a trend change. So we have our low, the high of the bounce. If the bulls can hold 41.4 and break 42.2, that's a confirmed daily trend change, which will be shaping up our weekly higher low. And again, the relationship that we've been seeing between altcoins and Bitcoin dominance, if we're going to confirm a daily trend change, it very likely means the crypto space is seeing another leg down, and the dominance chart is confirming a weekly higher low because altcoins are dropping harder than Bitcoin and dominance is going up. So keeping an eye on the dominance chart, daily trying to hold that support. Ethereum is a potential 12-hour bear flag as well, but we can see Ethereum stronger than Bitcoin because Bitcoin just confirmed the lower low and Ethereum didn't really get close. So without even looking, we know ETH BTC is green because of that relationship and that comparison. ETH BTC looks real good. Bounce right off daily EMA 12, inside bar bull break, hourly oversold conditions. We grinded 30 RSI, but pretty much marked that bottom. And now we're looking right back up at our recent high. So 762 is the highest level that we've seen in months. And that is in the picture here. So Ethereum continues to hold on very well comparative to Bitcoin. And we'll keep an eye on that to ensure that remains the case. And Ethereum on the, if I am going to trade one of these names, it's going to be Ethereum over Bitcoin as long as ETH BTC looks like this. But no trade for me yet. Dogecoin got the pump on Twitter as far as Elon Musk buying a position in Twitter. A lot of bears use that opportunity as far as a little pump and dump. And the timing was just really good for bears in the sense that right about when we're topping out, Bitcoin rolls over, confirms the daily downtrend, and confirms weekly consolidation. So just a really good environment for a sell the news, just a quick pump that sees zero follow through. And just to highlight again the Trader Pro system, the super stacks on the daily time frame, marking the top here and into a pullback. And I've been playing around more with aligning multiple alerts and watching the relationship and the information that they can give us. So just an example would be using a super stack on the daily to show overextended RSI levels on the daily, the 4 hour, the hourly, all the way down the line, showing us all these time frames are aligning oversold at once. Again, showing us euphoria, having us looking for a top climax. And then from there, looking to the first hourly oversold back burner and how that responds. So we can see that we had Doge first hourly oversold back burner down here in the 14.1s, and we got a bounce from there. Decent little bounce for sure. And the question now is, do we drop to the lower low? So just as the example, Sol, daily super stack fires up at the top with the euphoria climax, hourly back burner fires somewhere back here. So hourly back burner fires, and again, we do bounce from there, and we ended up going probably 4 to 5%, but we rolled over to the lower low. So the comparison that I'm using with these multiple alerts is if you get a daily super stack and then your hourly back burner from there rolls over to a lower low after that alert fires, you know that your top is likely going to be set for a decently significant period of time. Because if that top is not going to be set, that hourly oversold back burner needs to mark a low that you then trade off of and trade higher from for a prolonged period of time. As soon as you roll over to that fresh lower low, it just increases the probability that that super stack top is the highest level you're going to see in a while. So what we're watching for on Doge right now in the short term is, are we going to roll over and break 14 and follow the same steps as what Sol gave us as far as more significant pullback from the daily super stack? Looks like we had a little hourly super stack in there as well, leading to short-term bounces, but again, no follow through. So keeping an eye on that to see if Doge drops down and breaks 14 for lower lows. And one more time, Trader Pro free alert, trial, month, blah, blah, discount code, free trial. Check it out. I know a bunch of you already have. Appreciate the feedback and the messages that we've gotten. Some of you are enjoying it, and that's great. So Luna, I'm watching this channel on Luna on the 4 hour time frame. Very clear resistance level, very clear support level. Watching to see if bulls are able to defend this support that we are currently testing. We can see the 4-hour RSI got right above 30, didn't quite get oversold, and did bounce from there. And now we're right back to oversold conditions and watching to see, are we going to get another bounce to remain with this channel staying valid? And I drew this on a longer term time frame, so it's a little bit sloppy when you zoom in terms of candles being cut off. But next time we bounce, anything under 106.66 is just a 4-hour lower high. And if we're going to hold this channel support, we're going to have to start to see some trend changes right here and right now. So pretty important for the bulls to show up here. Otherwise, in my opinion, Luna is going to start giving some potential red flags. We'll just be looking for a weekly high or low with tons of space for it to form. But what we have created now with the size of this pullback is a lot of space for a daily lower high to be the result of the next bounce. And the red flag for me on Luna, which I talked about recently, was the weekly all-time high double top. And the double top in itself isn't a huge deal, but as soon as you lose the daily uptrend from that double top, it then becomes a lot more convincing of a rejection. So now we've got a weekly tightening range on Luna BTC. High, weekly bull flag attempt, failing the weekly bull flag confirming, and now the bulls must hold 19.7 here. Otherwise, we lose the weekly. I'm just recognizing a rising wedge right now, bigger picture. Let's condense this down to the 2-day time frame for ease of drawing. So Luna may be fading from the spotlight here. Support line incoming, just something to keep an eye on. That BTC pairing really needs to hold that support, because if we confirm a loss of the weekly high or low on the BTC pairing, again, that's glaring that the spotlight is fading, and Luna being the lead bull that we're paying attention to very often, that will change if that weekly support breaks. So again, that is a key support level to be watching over the next couple of weeks to determine whether or not Luna is going to remain in the spotlight or not. And in my opinion, if we were going to see that BTC pairing lose weekly support, it would be with a US dollar pairing confirming a daily downtrend into further weekly consolidation. Otherwise, we're watching our retracement size on weekly consolidation on the Three Musketeers. Again, ADA, VET, SOL are our Three Musketeers from this bounce a few weeks ago. And we're watching, is this going to shape up a weekly trend change to try and change momentum, bigger picture? Or is this just a short-term pop that's going to fade and give it all back and continue the prolonged downtrend from the last 6 months, 6+ months from these pairings? And so, looking at ADA right now, bulls want to hold 50% retracement ideally to keep a trend change on the table. If we start pulling back 60+%, that then obviously makes it a steeper hill to climb to try and confirm that trend change. So just keep an eye. Again, I don't have any trade setups that I like right now looking bullish on these names, but I'm keeping an eye out for whether or not I should be scouting a weekly high or low bullish entry. The volume looks good. Big bull volume on the way up, real low bear volume on the way down. I can see VET has pulled back, retracement size more significant than ADA, and SOL is still just a weekly inside bar. But over the next 2 weeks, I know that I'm going to be watching for weekly higher lows in the stock market, in Bitcoin, and in these altcoins. And the retracement size that we see before those weekly higher lows are set are going to be telling for us as far as the health of the consolidation. A couple more BTC pairings to be keeping an eye on in tightening ranges. Binance, if I'm not in a bullish position, I want a rejection here, and I want to tighten up. I want to pull back on the daily, really get as tight as possible within this range. But we're looking at the highest levels of the BTC pairing that we've seen in the last 6 months. And we're testing that level right now. So Binance BTC is attempting a monthly higher low. We know Ethereum just gave us a monthly higher low. So this tightening daily range breaking bull would give us the monthly higher low. And then we watch the 2-month equilibrium. Nah, I don't like the 2-month. We watch the all-time high, of course, but it will be a tightening range for the end of the year if we can get a monthly bounce and continue to tighten up here. But that's looking too bigger picture. Let's just stick to the daily, all about 101. And if we reject, we look for the higher low. And we've been watching AVAX BTC for its tightening range. We got a triple top now. We got a double bottom at support. Just looking for a daily lower high to be the result of this bounce. Whether it's a bull break or a bear break, that information can be used to be looking bullish or bearish. But again, we want to be watching tightening BTC pairings to tell us when volatility is coming. And this is an example of one where at this point, this range has been tightening up for the last month plus. And we know that a break and volatility will be coming eventually. Same thing though. Ideally, I want it to get as tight as possible. I want to see a bounce. I want to see a higher low and then a lower high. And then we'll know, okay, it's coming any day now. But definitely keeping an eye on the Binance and AVAX BTC pairings because they are tightening up nicely. Keeping an eye on weekly higher lows in our Three Musketeers as well as the broader market and Bitcoin itself. Ethereum still a place to be for bulls as long as ETH BTC is in a daily uptrend. And we're watching to see if Luna is going to lose the spotlight. Key Luna BTC weekly support. Check out the Trader Pro alert system, free 1-month trial, and do a good thing or two. See you next time.